Magufuli, the man who declared victory over coronavirus.
Okay.
And then the Wall Street Journal, Tanzania shunned lockdowns.
Shunned, say.
Now it's rejecting vaccines.
For what? What do they need vaccines for?
Kick them out of the United Nations.
Well,
isn't this where they're going?
What they're wanting. They're wanting other nations that border Tanzania to start, basically sequestering Tanzania now. Tanzania should be sequestering from everyone else.
Yes.
That way, no coronavirus gets in there.
Now, would they say he's deliberately lowering the number to show face in front of the? I mean, they could probably play that way, but are people dying every day there?
No one's disputing
that. Would imply that politicians play games with numbers.
Mm. Right. Politicize the pandemic.
That's just it, though.
The biggest thing, though, is having a foundation, right? Aren't they there to help, the world population with get better vaccines and
Who?
Bill and Melinda? We know the truth, right? But in this world, why would they go out of their way to oppose a sitting president?
All right. 2 reasons. All right, 3. He made fun of them.
Bingo.
Okay. He made fun of them. He made people laugh at them. Number 2, he gives God glory.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, the virus has not overtaken Tanzania.
There you go.
It's safe to live there.
Right.
So he must go down.
Right. And say 4, he didn't give in to mask and lockdowns.
And in response to your question about Bill and Melinda Gates, aren't they trying to help people? Never take a vaccine from someone that believes in population reduction.
I'm throwing these softballs up to you guys. These are not fastballs. Here.
Yeah.
I want our audience to make that connection too.
Well, something that is becoming a fastball, though, is the rejection of the Western lockdowns. And I'm talking about in Africa, specifically South Africa. This week announced they're not going to advise AstraZeneca be given one of the vaccines developed in the West. They said it's ineffective. I mean, to say something like that, again, it's a standing up, I think, in Africa. One, because they can't afford all the mechanisms of quarantine the West has been able to do as we crash our economies with lockdowns, mask mandates, social distancing. Because also they risk political uprisings in Africa. Yes. They know how fragile it is, so they said, we're just not going to do it that way. We're going to do the Africa way.
And once they give into that stuff, they've opened a door to foreign organizations and people to come in and manage the crisis.
Like the United Nations,
yes.
WHO.
And Gates and China, whatever. You've just opened up the door and said, come in. We admit we have a crisis. And come in and take
That's what they did with the
control.
AIDS. That's what they did with AIDS,
right.
or malaria. And who was at the forefront of both of those? Bill and Melinda Gates. Let us go help you, poor Africa, and give you all the vaccines free of charge.
Here, try this.
But more people got malaria and polio.
Amazing.
From the vaccine, especially
the Indian government is
polio.
pursuing that right now.
One more on this is from CNN. Following controversial remarks by Tanzania's president, World Health Organization urges countries to stick to science in fight against COVID-19. What does that mean, stick to science? The opposite is don't trust God.
Yes.
Ain't that right?
By trusting God, there's only 509 confirmed cases of coronavirus. If we trusted science, there'd be tens of thousands, maybe even millions.
Well, here in America, what do we have? If you believe the numbers, millions.
Right.
Because we don't trust God.
That's 100% right.
The president of Tanzania says we're going to trust God.
Isn't this a great lesson for believers out there, Rick? Really?
Yeah. We need to pray for this man. Everybody needs to pray. He is now public enemy number 1 for Bill Gates. They want to take him down.
Oh, yeah.
He needs prayer. He needs people to uplift him to the Lord and call out his name and ask the Lord to defeat his enemies, confound his enemies, strengthen him in the country of Tanzania.
But that should give every believer that watches this today boldness to stand up for the right things for us here as well.
That's right.
That we can stand up against the virus, fakeness, and we can stand up against the vaccine. We don't have to give in to the fear, folks. We already know they're manipulating the numbers. We already know they're, saying people that were dying in motorcycle accidents, well, that was COVID. We can stand up